Dizzle. We got breaking news, y'all. Well, I'm breaking it, but it's been out for a couple hours, and I wanted to comment on it. So yesterday, I talked about um, June 1st being the day that Putin made it official that he had took Luhansk. Today, June 2nd, Donald Trump halts weapons and supplies that Joe Biden pipeline. Donald Trump has halted that. Good job, Donald Trump. Good job, Donald Trump. Now you realize this is the key to your presidency. Everything else after that is easy. This right here was the big boulder in the road. This was the big hoopla. And now that you've done this, you can conquer all now, Mr. Trump, because this was the cog in the wheel. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Donald Trump. You are made a wise decision. Yeah, in that, this is how you end the war in Ukraine. Because as long as you support Zelensky in his endeavors, he will never stop. And on top of that, y'all, about damn time. Yo, Jesse, guess what else happened, Jesse? You'll never believe it. Man, Jesse ain't seen in a while. But this is great news, Jesse. Like I said yesterday, Putin conquered all of Ukraine. About damn time the U.S. halted weapons to Ukraine. Jesse, this is a good day. Like I said, back to back good news. What up, Joe? Oh, what up, Joker? What up? Yeah, man, they Putin officially conquered Luhansk, which is a large region in the Donbass region, and also today Donald Trump halted whatever remaining. Uh, they called it. I call it Biden's pipeline. He halted that. He halted it, man, and that's man. That is the best. I was like, damn. Ukraine need to throw up the white flag. And oh, guess what else happened, you guys? I guess Macron got wind of Trump cutting stuff off. So guess what? You guys will never believe. Yes, I. What's going on? Yes, see what's going on. You guys will never believe who called who today. You would think. Well, hold on. Relax and talk sports. Say you think NATO will continue to send weapons? Um, I'm glad you asked that question. Relax and talk sport. Guess who called Vladimir Putin today? I'm gonna give you all three guesses. Guess who called Vladimir Putin today? And it's in relations to, of all people, Candace Owens. This is some weird news, y'all. This is some weird news. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about who called Putin and the coincidence that happened between. Okay, so let me just say this real quick. Before I tell y'all who called Putin, Candace Owens was making fun. I'm going to give y'all a clue of somebody's wife. And because that happened, this person decided to call Putin. Weird how things happen, man. Does Candace Owens have the power to persuade NATO? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. JD Vance, France. No, it wasn't JD Vance. No, it wasn't JD Vance. No, JD Vance has a pretty wife. JD Vance has a very young looking wife. I just gave away two clues. Macron, yes. Jesse. Jesse. You can't make this up, Jesse. Yes, Macron called up Putin. He's like, Mr. Putin, uh, well, I was wondering if you could help us with Iran. So the call initially was Macron called Putin because he wanted um, Putin to talk to Iran about not leaving because you know Iran is threatening to leave some type of truce treaty with some nuclear truce treaty that they have, and because Trump bombed them, Iran is threatening to leave. They're like, man, fuck it. And the thing is, if they build nuclear weapons, everybody gonna start building nuclear weapons. So Macron initially called Putin to try to talk Putin into talking Iran into not ratifying the agreement, the nuclear agreement. After, help me out, Jesse. After Macron's been bad mouthing Putin. Oh, but it don't stop there, Jesse. It don't stop there. Relax Talk Sport. Everybody in the chat, Chubbs, Joker. It does not. Yes, it does not stop there. After Macron begged Putin to talk to Iran, then he had the nerve to turn around and talk about, well, can we get a ceasefire? Putin was like, nah, I don't think so. And then he's like, well, we back. Basically, he was letting Putin know we're going to keep backing Ukraine. So to answer your question, Rack Stock Sports, I guess NATO's going to keep backing, but we're not going to back it. It's all about MAGA, and I don't want us backing Ukraine. Hell, if NATO wants to back Ukraine, then hell, it's on NATO. That's on NATO, man. As long as we're not backing them. So let me. Kelly just joined us. Let me see what Kelly talking about. Kelly said, "Black Sun and chat. Hello again, Jesse. Yes, yo." So the news is, I don't know if you heard. Now, since we got a sister in here, since we got some feminine energy, I got to bring up Candace Owens, fellas. I got to bring up Candace Owens. So before Macron decided to call Putin, Candace Owens, she be making fun of damn Macron's wife. She be calling him a he and all that, and this and that. And when a black woman, let me say that again, when a black woman accuses you of being a man, that's not a good look. So I guess Macron's wife must have goddamn mushed Macron in the face, saying, "Wait, you have that girl stop talking about me. She stopped talking about me." So apparently it hit home, and so it got to the point where Macron was so compelled that he said, and I quote, he must have told Putin, if you get Candace Owens, because Trump and Candace Owens apparently have a talk. If y'all, I can't make this up. He told Trump, if you get Candace Owens to stop talking about my wife, I will call Putin and talk about a ceasefire. You can't make this up, y'all. I know this sounds crazy. You cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up, y'all. This is like clown world right here. I don't trust Candace, but so Kelly Ray says, I don't trust Candace. Oh, Robcat's in the house. Yeah, Robcat, that really happened. Yeah, Candace Owens, she be making, she be going in on goddamn Macron's wife, and so Candace Owens swear up and down that Macron's wife is a man, and she did her research. Remember how she did her research on Kamala Harris? Well, she did it. I haven't even watched it yet, but from what I hear, she did a thorough research on Macron's wife, because Candace suspects Macron's wife of being a man. I'm not saying this. This is from a black woman by the name of Candace Owens. I'm not saying it. I tripped out on the age difference. That's what I tripped out on. I said, this Black Son, I said that the age difference is kind of weird. Like, he's having mommy issues. She's 70 plus. He's like 40. That's a 30-year gap. Like, I was tripping on the age, but Candace is like, no, that's a man. Oh, Jesus Christ. So Candace Owens was ranking on goddamn Macron's wife so hard that Macron called Trump and said, look, look, tell her to stop it, tell her to stop it. In fact, I will call Putin and discuss a ceasefire. Damn, Candace, I didn't know you had that much power. Candace Owens, y'all see y'all ranking on Candace Williams. Wait, Candace Williams, what did Jesse say about Candace Williams? You already know damn Kelly Ray done ranked on Candace Owens, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me see what. First of all, let me see what damn Jesse said. Candace Owens is not for. Okay, I understand Jesse. I understand Kelly Ray. What y'all saying about Candace Owens? But if Candace Owens has that type of pull, she can end the war in Ukraine faster than Trump can. Oh my God! You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Y'all say what y'all want about Candace Owens, but she could end the war in Ukraine. Because it's Macron, it's goddamn Stromer, and it's goddamn Schultz, well, the new guy, I forgot his name, Mertz. They are the ones beating the war drum. After, I don't know what they're going to do now, y'all, because, yo, Trump said enough. And the only person here in America that can defy Trump is the Congress, and I doubt if Congress will go against Trump. That with Marjorie Taylor Greene up in there. And it's funny. Remember yesterday I said Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I know Kelly Ray, you don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene, but it is what it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene had a talk with Trump, and now Trump is all of a sudden, well, you know, it's a combination of things. So you can say Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens. You can say all the sisters had a part in this because, yeah, Macron's like, stop talking about my wife. Trump, tell Candice, stop talking about my wife. My wife is beating me up. Please, please, I can't take it. I will call Putin. And Putin must have been surprised. He like, is that Macron calling me? Is that Macron ringing my phone? The caller ID said Macron, France. Putin must have looked at Lavrov looked at Dmitry. They almost have been like, is that Macron calling us? Mister, we need to put sanctions on Russia. We need to fight Russia to every last Ukrainian. Macron. That Macron is calling us. That Macron is calling us, Jesse. That Macron. I wish I could have seen the looks on their face, Jesse. I wish I could have seen the looks on their face when the caller ID popped up, Macron. I bet Putin was just laughing like, look at these ski. Macron skis calling us. Like, Macron, Putin must have been stunned at first. When he saw the caller ID said Macron, he must have been like, is this Macron? Yeah, hello. Putin, how are you doing? How you doing, Putin? I'm doing good, Macron. How you doing? How you doing? You know, of course, there's translations, right? How you doing? How you doing? Well, Putin, how you been? How you been? And Putin, well, we haven't talked since 2022. Oh, Putin, I know, we Putin, I know, but I need a favor, I need a favor. You know, Israel and Iran, you know, Iran, I think, I think they're gonna leave the nuclear deal, and I think this guy. I'm just saying. Yeah, okay, Kelly. I'm just saying, Kelly. I'm just reenacting how it went. I'm just reenacting the phone call. Because, Kelly, why you laughing? This is a historical phone call. This man, Macron, hadn't called Putin in how many years? I want to say all during the Biden administration. So Putin was like surprised. He's like, damn, I'm getting a call from Macron. Russia must fall. We must fight Russia. We got to put sanctions on Russia. That guy, yes, call him Macron. MD said fall in Ukraine is imminent unless Europe goes full stop military aid. They're not going to do that, MD. I'm going to tell you why. Russia is on the brink of economic bullshit, and one was given a lifetime to Trump and aid given. First of all, BRICS is not going nowhere. And see, MD needs to understand, and I don't know why, because MD has done the study on Africa. Now, MD, welcome back to the show, but let's get down to it because MD's here, y'all. So I got to switch up the mode because he's ready to debunk everything I'm saying. MD. I'm going to ask you one question to see where your head is at. How's my mic, y'all? Because I want to make sure MD hears every word. I'm sure. Yeah, press one in the chat to make sure my mic is good so he can hear every word. Let's see who that said that. Bro, calm down. We just talking. I'm talking, but I need to see where your head's at. I'm calm, MD. I'm calm. But I got to ask you one question. Is Africa the source of all this fighting? Israel, Iran, Russia, Ukraine, is Burkina Faso, Mali, Togo, is that the source of all these conflicts? Yes or no? I want to see where your head's at because we've been down this road before. And we kind of connected dots back then. I'm full throttle connecting the dots all to Africa, but it's a simple yes or no, MD. Agreed. I know Jesse knows what time it is. Jesse knows what time it is. You know, Jesse, I don't even have to ask Jesse. All this start because Jesse knows the African history, the Pan-African history, and how history repeats itself with Africa. So he knows that World War II was tied to Africa. Jesse knows this, but do you know this, MD? Because you anti-black and everything, but most of us, black nationalists, Pan-Africanists, people who studied that, we know it all ties to Africa. So me asking Jesse this, that's an easy one for Jesse. Because he will easily tie it all back to, I don't care if it's Ukraine, Iran, Russia, Israel, America, France, Belgium, England. It all ties to what's going on in Africa. And this is why they want to stop the nuclear proliferation of Iran, because Iran is about to get straight supplies from Burkina Faso. This is why Trump is scrambling. No, you can't do a nuclear program. You're trying to beat them at the punch. Iran, you cannot do a nuclear program because Iran has direct contact with Ibrahim Traore. So let's get to it, MD. Let's get to it. If Europe loses Africa, Europe is done. Oh, well, shit, we on the same page, MD. Oh, shit. Well, damn. Okay, MD, you know what? Jesse, we got to give him a thumbs up, man. Mr. MT, anti-black. He knows he knows the African connection. So, MD, bravo. And this is why they're fighting so hard. And this is why Trump bombed Iran. And this is why Zelensky went to South Africa. Now he's trying to make buddy-buddy. Now they're trying to be anti-Nazi all of a sudden. Notice how Trump crapped on the South African president when he came here trying to clown, and then Zelensky went back over there, had to kiss a black man's bootay. Let me tell you, y'all, this all stems from Africa. They're fearing, and I didn't even know they had a protest here in New York. When you have white people, and white people, they'll find any reason, and I'm not talking about all white people, I'm talking about the liberals. When they're saying Ibrahim Traore, now I'm all for Ibrahim Traore, but when you got white people who is taking a African black nationalist figure, and I'm not going to say that Traore is anti-white. I'm not going to do that to Traore. Traore is anti-France controlling, anti-Europe controlling our Africa's resources, but some people, if they're uneducated, they will take that as being anti-white. But he's not anti-white. He's just anti-Europeans being in control of the African resource. And me as an African American who is poor, now let's not get us twisted. I had a person I was talking about. In fact, I was talking about Russia. I was talking about Russia conquering Luhansk. And MD of all people will validate what I'm about to say because MD and I, we were there. Well, MD, let's keep it honest. Let's keep it real honest. Let's keep it big, bro. You gotta come on the show. No echo chamber, just discussion. Okay, I got you, MD. I got you. I'm gonna have to arrange that with you. I'm gonna have to do that because that day I had some I had a lot going on that day. So yeah, I got you, MD. But let me ask you this, MD, real quick. You know what? Let me just say this, MD. Let me just say this. You of all people understand the mentality of Penny Boghossian. And I want to say that you understand Sergei Lavrov and you understand Putin. These are three Russians that you understand. I think you were kind of new to Dmitry Medvedev, so I'm not going to even hold you on that. You know, Dmitry Medvedev, he is far right, so I'm gonna leave him out. I just know when you're on the show, we've always talked about Sergei Lavrov. You know, because I think MD likes Sergei Lavrov as much as I do, not on a political sense, but just as just a human being. Because we know Sergei Lavrov is a genuine brother who likes to go to the cookout. So me and MD, we've already established that Sergei Lavrov is a brother. So it's not even a question of I'm not going to even pin the politics on you, MD, but just as a brother, as all us being brothers, me, you, Jesse, everybody in the chat, and Sergei Lavrov, uh, we'll just say this. We'll just say this. You may not agree with the politics, but you gotta admit that brother is smooth. He is smooth. I don't know if you saw that damn interview he did on CBS. Boy, he kept damn clicking that pen. He was. That's what I said. Anywho, I say that to say this, MD. I'm gonna say this, MD, and I'm gonna say this, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of Americans and a lot of the media. And tell me if I'm wrong, MD. And I even think that you, in some sense, and I want to even say Venkat, and this falls in the line of Sergei Lavrov. Sergei Lavrov wanted to rush this war. Putin doesn't want to rush this war. Sergei Lavrov don't want to rush this war. Sergei Lavrov and Putin are very, very calculated. Us in the West, we want to rush shit. Just look at Trump. Trump want to bomb shit up. And I'm MAGA. I love Trump. But our mentality is when we go to war, we want to go in guns blazing. And what MD and I have learned, I don't know if MD's learned it. He might have learned it. But again, MD, let me know if you learned it. But Putin doesn't want to rush this war. Sergei Lavrov wanted to do that, and y'all know whatever happened to Sergei Lavrov, MD can tell you because he stayed up. He stayed up goddamn 4 o'clock in the morning when Sergei Lavrov just nutted up and decided he wanted to do a coup and then change his mind the last minute. That's a whole nother video, y'all. But if y'all know, when MD was on here, we did a show, I believe, on it. I went to bed. He called me, man, like, yo, it's going down. And he stayed up. I went to bed, all due respect, knowing that Sergei Lavrov wasn't going to succeed in that. But MD had a different mentality. He's like, man, I'm going to stay up and see what the hell's going to go down. And I didn't want to argue with MD, but I wanted to tell MD it ain't going to be successful. Sergei Lavrov, that's going to say Sergei Lavrov. Penny Boghossian wasn't going to goddamn take the goddamn, wasn't going to take the goddamn Moscow Palace. I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I went to bed and slept like a baby. MD stayed up because MD thought that Wagner was going to actually take on the Red Army, march into her palace, and overthrow Putin. That's what MD was thinking, and I understand it, MD, because right at the point where Penny Boghossian wasn't thinking, he was just so impulsive because he's so frustrated. He looked like, look, Putin, we done took Bakhmut. Man, we can take this all the way up to Kiev. And Putin's like, no, relax, dude. Relax, that's not part of the plan. In fact, Troigo, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, in fact, not only we gonna not part of the plan, but we're gonna make you part of our army because you just wilding out right now. You wilding out. You just want to do what you do. You have the Western mentality. If anybody Russian has the Western mentality, that was Penny Boghossian. And I believe everybody's expectation, including you, MD, have Penny Boghossian's mentality when it comes to warfare, because that's how we operate. And Penny Boghossian was on that time. He was on that time. Putin's not on that time. Putin it's like a slow lava roll. It's a slow lava roll. And by the way, and real quick, because MD did leave the comment, I do want to address that. MD, by us cutting off Biden's remainder of the weapon supplies, and even if you all of NATO except for us support it, it's over. It's over with. I don't care how much goddamn England contributes, France contribute, Germany, because that's all the people who want to contribute. Guess what? Slovakia, as you know, MD, doesn't want to support Ukraine. They got their own problems. Hungary has their own problems. They don't want to support Ukraine. And quiet as it get kept, my resources, and maybe your researcher says the same thing, we can talk about it when I come on your show. Poland, prove me wrong, does no longer wants to support Ukraine. I don't mean to get excited, MD, but this is major when Poland, who has bad blood with Germany and Russia, I guess they woke up and it was like, Poland has bad blood with Stalin, as you know, but they have bad blood with Hitler too. But Poland is like, we got problems of our own. Europe is waking up and realizing that the people are probably putting pressure on the politicians that we have our own problems. You see how goddamn Marjorie Taylor Greene got in Trump's ear. She's like, yo, don't forget your base. And she from Georgia too? Oh no. And I'm sure goddamn Candace Owens got in his ear too, because Candace Owens not a fan of this war. And so her capping all on goddamn Macron's wife, Macron's old French sissy ass was like, oh, no, Trump, please, tell Candace Owens not to talk about my wife no more. Again, I don't talk about nobody's wife. I question the age difference. I'm just saying, like, are you having mommy issues? Why would somebody like Macron? I mean, he's a short guy, but why are you going to marry somebody your mama's age? But hey, love is blind, right? Woman says she's a man. I just question the age difference. Like, what's going on? Like, why you would marry a woman 3 times your age? Let's see. Okay, hold on. MD says something about Poland. Poland just gave €2 billion package to Ukraine. Oh, well, they suckers then. They suckers. Oh, what's up, Chubbs? They suckers then. They suckers. But what about Hungary and goddamn Slovakia? They saying no more. They're saying no more. We're tired of this. Hungary and I guess Poland being wishy-washy. But watch this. Watch this. Now they said Slovakia and Hungary said the reason why we don't support the war because they can't win against Russia. What Zelensky is asking is unrealistic. So let me ask this question because I don't know if you were being a troll, but I'm gonna take it as you weren't being a troll, MD. Let me ask you 2 simple questions, and since Ukraine, okay, so let me ask you 2 questions, and this is all I need to know from you, MD. This is with the full support of NATO. Can Ukraine, with NATO's help, take back Crimea and Luhansk? That's all I need to know. See where your mind is at. Can they take what all the support of Ukraine is minus us? Can, because that's what Zelensky wants. Zelensky wants Crimea back, and he's more likely going to want Luhansk back. And I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you've known already, MD. But Russia, I think they've been to goddamn Luhansk, but yesterday Putin announced, yeah, we have full control of Luhansk. Let's see. Well, let's wait for MD's to reply. No cheating, Jesse, because Jesse already knows the answer. No cheating for him, Jesse. I want to see what he's coming up with. Hungary been on it. Trump lifts the sanctions on Rosetta backpacks and nuclear facility. Okay, I mean, no, you're coming with some interesting information, MD, but you gotta, let's get back to Zelensky, because one step at a time, MD, because I do want to get, I do want to get to Iran. Because it's funny, is because Iran, Israel situation is why Trump is cutting off the funds. I think we can agree to that. That's why he's cutting off the funds to Ukraine. When it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump is like, oh shit, Bibi, we need all hands on deck. We need all missiles, we need all drones, we need all HIMARS, we need all tanks, we need everything, because goddamn Putin is about to goddamn drive Trump up the wall with this Iran situation. And so he needs all the resources. So no, yeah, cut off that shit to goddamn Ukraine, because we gonna need all this shit, because Bibi is about to Bibi's gonna take this little ceasefire, and Bibi's gonna start up again with goddamn Iran. But I have to make sure, MD, they have to so we got the cutoff, but I got to make sure it's officially done with Iran. Well, I'm sorry. It needs to be officially done with Ukraine, because then Trump can maneuver and kiss Putin's ass. And I'm not saying in the literal sense, but what I'm saying is that Trump, Macron, all these people in NATO, they don't, excluding Trump, but all those people in NATO don't like Putin. However, if they can get Putin to talk to Iran, because remember, this is why Macron called Putin. Damn, why is he calling me? Dude, why is dude calling me? That's what Putin was thinking. Why is Macron calling me? Why is Macron calling me? So, yeah, Macron, he got, and that's why I said I question, and that's why I brought up his wife. I don't, like I said, I don't disrespect people's wife, but if you marrying somebody your mama's age, I think you might have mommy issues. And that's nothing against his wife. That's him. Something going on here. But whatever. You know what? I'm not here to talk about Macron. I'm just here about talk about Macron talking crap about Putin. Then going to call Putin, hey Putin, can you talk to Iran for me? Because they want to walk away from the nuclear deal, and we can't have that. Wouldn't you say, Putin? Putin's like, well, yeah, I agree with that. So he want to try to butter Putin up. He want to try to butter Putin up, man. First of all, y'all press the one if y'all seen the video where Macron, he went over to Turkey, and Erdogan, he was in front of Erdogan. He put his finger in his hand like that, and he was like, if y'all seen it, Erdogan's like, man, if you don't goddamn, you gonna get me killed than these damn Muslims. If these Muslims see, man, your tutti frutti, acting the way you acting, you gonna get me goddamn. He was like, man, thinking, don't do that. That's when Macron put his finger in. All right, y'all, I had a phone call. Sorry about that. Hey, y'all, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Uh-oh, I'm going to have to shut down the show. All right, y'all. I'm out. Fuck.